Hello everyone, Josh here from Skunk the Blender, and today I'm going to show you how to make 2D procedurally generated terrain in processing. So, as you can see, I'm in processing 3.2.3, which as of today is the newest version, and I have just a blank sketch set up. So, this is going to be using, rather than randomness, it's going to be using a cool function processing has called noise. If I can spell it right, noise, which creates kind of smoothed out random numbers based on, so it does randomize it, but it smooths it out based on what's next to it, and it creates this nice kind of terrainy look. It's pretty nice. So to start, we'll need to have a float array called terrain. We'll need to have a float called offset, just for the noise function. And we'll need a float, I'm going to make this an int w, which is just going to be how smooth the terrain is, like how many columns there are of the terrain. So, first we need to make terrain initialized, so terrain equals new float, and we'll say w plus 2, just so we have a little bit of room on either side of the screen to work with. Oh, and we gotta make this full screen. And then in draw is where the fun begins. So, I will make a for loop, int I equals 0, I is less than terrain dot length. Whoa, if I can type. I plus plus. There we go. So now in this for loop, terrain of I equals, and we're going to, if we just had the noise function by itself, with the offset of offset, it would always give you a value between 0 and 1, which is probably too small to work with, so we're going to map it out. Since it is between 0 and 1, we're going to map it out between, let's say, negative 250 and 250. There we go. So now rather than giving us a value between 0 and 1, which would be really hard to work with, it just gives us a value ranging from negative 250 to 250. Now, this doesn't do much because offset just equals 0, so it's giving you the same thing every time. So let's say in here, offset plus equals 0.01. It's best to work with small numbers in noise because it creates more smooth terrain. So now, if we do this, since this is in draw, it's called every frame, and offset would get ridiculously large way too fast for us to work with. So we're going to create a new variable, let's call it movement, and I'm going to set it equal to random between 0 and say 10,000. So now we're going to have movement. This is how we'll actually make it look like it's moving if we want to. Plus equals, let's say, 0.01 again. And now we're going to have offset equals movement. So now our offset will only move up by 0.01 every frame rather than that insane amount. So now we have our terrain array, but we don't have anything to do with it. So what we're going to do is we're going to use begin shape and end shape. We're going to make shapes to do this. Shapes, woo. So what we're going to have is begin shape. And now we should have, well, no, you know what? I'm not going to do that yet. So for now, I'm just going to have for whoa, if I can type. Now I have this loop here, which I'm going to use to draw it. So for now, I'm just going to draw a line, and it's going to be from I times width over W. Let's say width over, I think I'm going to do, no, that'll work. That'll work. Okay, so that'll be the bottom point x value. Height times width over W, if I can. And then this one will be terrain of I. And now I'm just going to mess with this a little bit. It'll go off the screen a little bit, which we want. Yeah, I think. Yeah, there we go. Yes, there we go. Alright. So now, if we run this, we should get. Nope, there's an error in there. Let's close this out. I'm guessing this is an array out of bounds. So what do we have here? Oh, there we go. I plus 1. Can change this back. There we go. Now, oops. Okay, so what I forgot to do here is it's working, except I need to clear the screen every time, and I also have 0 on the x-axis still way up at the top of the screen. So let's just say minus height over 2. No, plus height over 2. There we go. And you see now we have some lines making terrain, which is pretty neato. But I'm guessing doesn't matter what you're doing, you're probably not going to want your terrain to be a bunch of lines. So we're going to use shapes to actually draw the terrain. So I'll begin shape, and now I'm going to need 2 vertices, one at the bottom right of the screen, I'm going to need a vertice at the bottom left of the screen, and now we're going to have a for loop. And it's going to basically be the same as the one above, except rather than having a line there, it's going to be a vertex at I times width over, oh man, W. Here we go. And then terrain of I plus, whoa. plus 1 plus height over 2. There we go. And then I will end the shape. So now, there we go. Now if I run it, we'll get this nice boom, which is pretty neat. So now, just for reference, if we get rid of this, that's what's causing it to move. It'll just always be 0. Now we'll have this nice terrain. And then, let's say void mouse pressed. I'm just going to say movement is going to be randomized. So it'll have a different starting point in the noise array over here. So now every time you click, it'll just randomize the terrain again. There you go. So now we could also do something movement, let's say distance from, well, no, we don't want distance. Yeah, but we can have it based on the mouse's X position. Sure, let's see if this works. Whoa. You know, I've run into this before, and I have no idea why. If anyone knows why, I would be very happy to know. Because this should just be... Maybe I need... that? I doubt it. Yeah, that did seem to fix it. Alright. It's because mouse X was stored as an integer rather than a float, and it just didn't want to convert between integer and float, so I could take this even farther and go mouse X minus width over 2. Whoa. Now, you can kind of scroll it around. I'm going to make this a little slower. And now you see you can kind of scroll around. But let's say you wanted a thicker top layer on here. You don't just want your, I don't know, snowy mountains. So now we'll have another shape. And this time, let's see, I'm just going to copy and paste this for loop. It will create the vertices up there, but now we want another one of these where, yeah, okay, so this one is going to have I is greater than -1. Here we are. That should be good. Let's see if this somehow works. No, it will not. There. Nope, error. But basically what I'm trying to do is it will create the top vertices, and then it will create another one going from right to left. And you probably can't see him touching my monitor all over right now. So we have an array out of bounds here. Do we just want to keep I plus 1? I feel like that will not help, but yeah, it does not. Crash already, please. There we are. Okay, so it could just be that it's colliding with itself. So let's say minus 200. No, that's way too much. Minus 100. So we have I is the turn.length minus 1, so that'd be 191. No, it would be 193. And it would go... Is that what we want? So, what's going on here? So we'll have +2, possibly. Let's see. Yeah, it could be it. Nope, not it. Let's see. I'm going to get rid of this full screen, and I'm going to make the window a little bit smaller. A lot smaller. So we have, yeah. Oh, what? Where are we getting 195? So this is getting 195 here. Oh boy, that's funny. I'm ashamed of that. Just, no. Just let me close. There we go. Alright, so now I've probably thoroughly screwed stuff up. So we'll need... Oh, I think we will want 9 plus 2. Forgot to end shape, too. As you can tell, I am a quote-unquote experienced professional with this. So we need I is greater than -2. Length -1. Should be what? No. Why is it doing this? I'm guessing it's got to be right here. It's the only array we have. So if we have it I, this might work. It's just really small. Let's see, we also have to change the fill here so it doesn't... And we'll have to change it up here, otherwise it'll... Alright. And now we want our full screen back. There. See, now we have a layer of grass on top. Even though it's black, but you know you can recolor this as you please. Well, alright everyone, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.